Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the South Carolina College Baseball Recap for Tuesday, February the 3rd. There were 6 games involving state teams played on Tuesday. Anderson played a pair of games against King, getting to play their home opener at Anderson Memorial Stadium after having to play at T.L. on Monday. The Trojans won a pair of games on Tuesday by the scores of 10-0 and 1-0, so they're now 3-0 on the year. Anderson pitchers allowed 6 hits in the 14 innings, so again, good start for P.J. Zocchi's team. Elsewhere, Lander beat Newberry 7-2. Zach Cowart was 3 for 5 with a double, 2 runs scored and an RBI. And also, Caden Cruz, Ryan Hansen, and Will McClellan drove in 2 runs apiece for the Bearcats, who improved to 3-0. Newberry dropped to 1-2. Down in Aiken, Maverick Grigsby hit a 3-run triple to cap a 6-run 4th inning, and Aiken rolled to a 9-4 win over Francis Marion in making a matchup of 2-0 teams. They had scheduled this game after both teams lost a playing date over the weekend because of the snowy weather. Chancellor Jennings, a transfer from Newberry, was 3 for 6, had a run scored and drove in 2 runs for the Pacers. Elsewhere, USC Beaufort beat Edward Waters by a score of 7-6. Nicholas Barcelo had a costly error that led to 3 unearned runs in the 7th inning, but he responded with a 2-run single and a 3-run 8th to lift USC Beaufort to that 7-6 win. That was the first win of the season for the Sand Sharks, who got washed out or snowed out of their scheduled home series to open the season. And also, it was the first win for Brian Lewis as head coach of the Sand Sharks. And the only other game played on Tuesday involving a state team, Augusta beat Erskine 10-9, rallying late in the game and then holding off the Flying Fleet. Roland Chance had 2 home runs and 5 RBI for Augusta in that win. Coker and Mount Olive were supposed to have played on Tuesday, but that game was canceled. I'm guessing because of field conditions up in Mount Olive. Not much on the schedule for Wednesday. Just a couple of games are going to be played. Forest Arlington Tech is going to be playing at Robeson Community College up in North Carolina. The Stingers are 5-2 and they've won 4 straight games. The only other game scheduled in the state on Wednesday will be Lincoln Memorial visiting North Greenville for a 3:30 game at Ray and B. Dillard Stadium up in Tigerville. The Trailblazers, of course, went 3-0 in a weekend tournament against some pretty good teams, and they're rolling along. They scored 37 runs in 3 games, and looks like Landon Powell has another team that could contend for postseason play and maybe even a national championship. We'll see how that goes. Catawba Valley and USC Lancaster were supposed to be playing on Wednesday, but that game was postponed. No announcement yet on a makeup date. We'll share that when we find it. Of course, this is all part of my coverage of college baseball in the state of South Carolina at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. You can follow my updates on X under the handle of Palmetto Base, and I've also added a Facebook group titled Palmetto State Baseball Group. Trying to get more interaction between fans there to help us share our interest in college baseball. A couple of things happened off the field on Tuesday. ESPN announced its national telecast for college baseball. They had done it for softball earlier on Monday. But Clemson's scheduled to get 10 games on national TV. South Carolina is supposed to get 6. And Coastal Carolina is supposed to get 2. Of course, that does not include games on ACC Network Extra, SEC Network Plus, and other ESPN Plus for, like, say, if South Carolina is playing a road game, for instance, the Citadel, that game will likely be at ESPN Plus. No word yet on video streaming for the Clemson-South Carolina game at Segra Park in Columbia during the middle game of their meetings. Last year it was streamed. I believe they just used USC's radio feed for the game. It could be like if Clemson says the home team, they might use Clemson's, or there might be something else going on too. Just have to check about that. And again, I'll keep those updates as best I can. Follow me on X at Palmetto Base, and check out the Palmetto State Baseball group on Facebook. Again, this is Rudy Jones wrapping things up. Hope you're doing well. Looks like with the snowy weather's out of the way for a little while anyway. I hope you have a great night, and remember, Jesus loves you.